details. So I'm not going to go into the details of that. But even if someone is really sick, as we've seen a couple of patients in the last couple of weeks, really sick, that is treatable. It doesn't mean that nothing can be done.
Now, should they go to a physician at that point?
Well, they should come see me. Okay, and I'm not being vain about it.
Well, I understand.
But if you go to a physician, the first thing they're going to do is give you a vaccine.
Right.
Okay? And they actually don't have very much in the way of drugs that are effective against the flu virus. They talk about Tamiflu, amantadine, and there's a Relenza and other things like that. Here's the lowdown on, say, Tamiflu, which is supposed to be the best one. If you look at the natural history of an influenza infection, it is expected to take about 14 days to resolve on its own with no treatment. If you treat the patient with Tamiflu, it will take 13 and a half days. So for all your trouble,
you save 12 hours.
Yes,
maybe.
And that's suspect.
Hours.
See, that's within the margin of error of these studies. But on that slim basis, the World Health Organization is basically compelling countries all over the world to buy millions and millions of doses of Tamiflu, which at best gives you a half a day less symptoms.
And who knows what else it may cause.
Yeah, so this is just fraudulent nonsense.
Yeah, I'm sure that Donald Rumsfeld is laughing to the bank because I know he has a lot of stock.
Sure.
The company that makes that.
Yeah, and one of the things we want to ask Mr. Obama, say maybe we can close out on this. He is not George W. Bush. So therefore, since he's not George W. Bush, then why will he not renounce and nullify all of the executive orders that were signed into effect by Mr. Bush and even by Mr. Clinton? So Mr. Obama, if you're watching, take out your pen and nullify all of those draconian dictatorial executive orders that were put into effect by your predecessors. You see? And also, while you're at it, Mr. Obama, sell your Baxter stock. And tell Baxter that they are no longer welcome to make political donations to your campaign. Otherwise, people may suspect that, that the reason why they're being treated with kid gloves is because they supported the president. Right.
It has all the makings of that.
Yeah. See, these are very practical things. So we have a black president. He's our guy. We believe his heart is in the right place. But we, the people, we have to put pressure on him.
Yes.
You see, with one signature, he can eliminate the threat of martial law.
Right.
And the declaration of health emergencies that put people in jeopardy of being detained with one stroke of the pen.
Yes.
He can do all of that. And so we need to be putting pressure on him to let him know that we're watching what he does. And that I know he's got his hands full with the economic crisis and the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and North Korea and all this stuff going on. But nonetheless, Mr. President, we are the people who elected you.
Right.
And these executive orders have been put in place to our detriment.
Yes.
And we expect you to use the power of your office to protect us.
Yes, that's right. And one of the things, and so those are our marching orders. And I'm glad that you said that, because on the vaccine, the Understanding the Dangers of Vaccine Forum, that's on the, I believe, the only community forum, and I want to thank Brother Patrick, because that's becoming one of the most effective ways of getting information out. We do have Brother Joyan, who's been writing on some of the legal courses that should be taken. I'm not sure, I haven't read his latest, so I don't know if he mentioned this, but we do have now a way to get that directive out so somebody can get on top of Obama with these President Obama with these health laws.
Yeah, and shut down these FEMA camps.
Yes.
I mean, there's hundreds of detention centers all around the country, You know, and you can go online and you can see pictures
Yes.
of them. They do video tours of some of these sites that have been put up over the last few years by Halliburton on behalf of FEMA.
Right.
And so, Mr. President, you know, I mean, shut them down and reassure we, the American people, that you are not a part of this long-range, long-term conspiracy.
Yes.
You know, to deprive us of our liberties, number one, but even maybe deprive us of our lives.
Right. Right. That's good. That's it. And anything else you wanted to add to that? All right. Well, Brother Alim, we definitely thank you. And we're going to get as much mileage out of this as we possibly can.
Well, I just want to, again, thank you for being the spark plug, so to speak, behind this movement and all of your great books and things, you know, and those are excellent resources.
Thank you.
And they should be read by everybody and relied on as reference tools because we're in a fight, whether we want to be or not.
Yes.
Whether we're a coward or not. I mean, sometimes cowards get in fights, you know.
That's right.
And then they have to stop displaying the habits of cowards.
Right.
And put on the attributes of courage.
That's right.
And fight for your life. And you might be like the cowardly lion, whereas suddenly you discover, you know, that you're not a coward at all.
Right.
You know, that you're courageous and you deserve a medal.
That's right.
But the next year to 2 years is really a time of trouble and tribulation beyond anything that we have ever experienced. One final point that just occurred to me.
Yes, come on.
I don't know how much time is on the camera. In 1997, the United States Army dispatched Dr. Jeffrey Tobenberger and a team of researchers to the frozen tundra in northern Alaska. In 1918 and 1919, Alaska was hard hit by this Spanish flu. So you had thousands and thousands of people in Alaska who died. A lot of soldiers were deployed there, and they were buried in the frozen tundra. Wow. So their bodies have been preserved in a frozen state since that time. So in 1997, Dr. Jeffrey Tobenberger and his team went up there, dug up the bodies, took lung tissue from these corpses that had died of the Spanish flu, brought that back to Fort Detrick, Maryland. So since that time, they have been researching the Spanish flu. Now, of course, the Spanish flu, as I already mentioned earlier, was a swine flu.
Right.
But it was a recombinant virus. It had human genes, human virus genes, bird virus genes, and swine virus genes, just like the one in 2009. Dr. Tobenberger announced a few years back that he had successfully resurrected this Spanish virus.
When was that again? 2000?
I don't remember the exact year, something like 2005, 2006. There was an announcement made that he had successfully reconstituted, resurrected, in other words, this Spanish virus, and that it was under intense study. So now it's interesting that this newly emerged virus in 2009 has elements of a bird virus, human virus, and a pig virus, just like the one in 1918 and 1919.
That's something.
Now, part of the story, which needs further investigation, is that there have been a number of robberies at Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is the center of the U.S. Army's biological research. And there are a number of viral specimens that have come up missing over the last few years. And this has been reported in newspapers such as the U.S. Army Times and other periodicals. Of course, we had the anthrax scare in 2001, and the guy, I forget his name just now, that committed suicide, who was under investigation.
Right.
Of course, that's all centered at Fort Detrick now. All of these strange events are taking place at Fort Detrick. Not only that, at Porton Downs in the